The pick is in for the Carolina Panthers. I am Will Scott alongside Tom Downey. And no surprise, Tom, it is Alabama quarterback Bryce Young.
Yeah, Young has been the expected pick for at least a couple weeks now, with the buzz and the rumors and whispers trending that way. And the Panthers have now finalized that after they gave up everything to go get the #1 overall pick. Bunch of picks, and of course, wide receiver DJ Moore going to the Chicago Bears. Let's begin with some of the positives and why Bryce Young is the pick here for Carolina, despite the obvious size concerns. This is not your normal Alabama supporting cast. Not the one we saw last year, at least. The one this year was not that great. He consistently made plays out of structure, a playmaking creator who showed great accuracy, survived despite not a very good offensive line, a lot of drops, all that stuff. He was the 2021 Heisman winner. From a film study, not so much a stat perspective, you can make an argument he was better this year. The magic plays that Bryce Young found a way to make were incredibly impressive. The processing, the smarts, all of that stuff was certainly there on film. If you put any stock into the alleged S2 cognitive testing scores, 98th percentile as well. One of 2 7-time team captains under Nick Saban, and he went pro a year early. That's actually pretty rare. Unlike some of the quarterbacks that we see come out in the NFL draft, he actually got past his first read pretty consistently. The football IQ is high. The accuracy is high. The playmaking is high. We'll get to some of the things that aren't high, like his literal height is a big factor in that. Teammates liked him. He took his offense lineman out to steak every week, which I think went over really well in the locker room. If Bryce Young was, instead of being 5'10", 1/8", 204, and was, 6'2", 215, if he had Kenny Pickett's build, he'd be a consensus #1 quarterback in this year's class.
Go down in the comments section and grade the pick. Type A, B, C, D, or F down in the comments. Bryce Young, the #1 overall selection in the 2023 NFL Draft. It is the pinned comment on today's video. So when ad break comes, take advantage of it by replying and grading the pick of Bryce Young. And Tom, you mentioned it. Carolina gave up a haul. They originally had the #9 overall pick here in the first round. They jump up 8 spots, give up DJ Moore, give up next year's first round pick, some other picks to get the #1 overall pick. And when they made the trade, we did not know what quarterback they were going up to get. We knew they were going up for a quarterback. Didn't know which one. C.J. Stroud was rumored there at one point. Just a couple days ago, we heard the Reddit rumor about Will Levis.
Theory on the Will Levis Reddit rumors. This is my headcanon. I think that one of the bookmakers, whoever it was like, we're going to plant this idea on Reddit, and we're going to reverse AMC ourselves and get a bunch of money on Will Levis. There were some big bets put on Will Levis. Bryce Young odds never changed that much. So that's my deep conspiracy theory. The bookmakers tricked everybody.
Yeah, Vegas controlling things. Not a surprise. Bryce Young, 32 touchdowns last season, Alabama, 5 interceptions, over 3,300 yards. And like you said, Tom, he kind of is just special. He's a total package. He can create something out of nothing. Here's what Dan Brugler of The Athletic said about him. Young is a size outlier. He will be the smallest quarterback in the NFL the moment he is drafted, with average arm power, but he is a natural passer with an instinctive feel for throw location and play extension. Despite limited physical traits, he has the high-end intangibles and talent required to be an impact starter in the NFL. You're watching our NFL Draft channel here on Chat Sports, trying to get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the draft. Subscribe to the channel right now. Tom, we're bringing you year-round draft coverage. This is not just something you see this week. Year-round draft coverage for the viewers at home.
We'll have plenty of fun over here. 2024 draft starts in a couple days, so it'll be. We'll have a mock draft for you, I promise you.
Caleb Williams, #1?
Of course. I'm not a crazy person.
Yeah, it's definitely a good quarterback class next year as well. Bryce Young, the first quarterback off the board here to the Carolina Panthers. Tom, I think we'll both agree that Bryce Young, the best quarterback in this class. Panthers made the right move. He's the new face of the franchise. He is exactly what Carolina needs with new head coach Frank Reich.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how Frank Reich handles Bryce Young, because there are real limitations to his game. The first note of my negative scouting report, I will never publish my reports because I'm really mean and blunt and I'll get in trouble. He is genuinely just a small person. I know he weighed in at 204 at the Combine. It's not what he played at, and that's not what he's going to play at in the NFL. Bryce Young, he played in the 180s from what I was told. That is That is insanely small for an NFL quarterback, and I would wonder if he plays more in the 190s. And if when he shows he can add the weight, there's a reason why he didn't do any drills at the combine, and then didn't weigh in at the pro day. The water weight's a real thing right there. So no quarterbacks who was since 2003 who's weighed under 207 pounds at the combine has been drafted in round 1. That, of course, changes drastically today with Bryce Young. And I think some of the things that make him so gifted, the out-of-pocket, out-of-structure things, can also be a negative if he doesn't learn to trust his offensive line again. He bailed on pockets because they weren't good at Alabama. If he starts bailing on pockets behind Carolina's, I think, pretty solid offensive line, there's going to be some problems there. He's a lot of shotgun offense at Alabama. I think you'll see tons of RPOs because he will feast on RPOs in Carolina right there. Sometimes the mechanics get a little loosey-goosey. I think he's a very fluid player overall. He's a better runner than I think most give him credit for. You saw it this year. I like Bryce Young a lot. He's first-round grade for me, my number 1 overall quarterback overall on my board. He checks in at number 3. No quarterback boost there from that standpoint. Player comp. Ready for a player comp, Will?
Yeah, hit me.
I'm stealing this from my guy Nate Tice over at The Athletic, but it makes so much sense. How about Doug Flutie?
Oh, I thought you were going to say Drew Brees.
Everyone wants to say Drew Brees.
I like the Doug Flutie comp.
I'm not going to go Drew Brees, although I think that works as well, but I've comped small quarterbacks with Drew Brees before, and I can't just keep doing it over and over again. So I think some of the same out-of-structure chaos that Doug Flutie did also fits pretty well for Bryce Young. But he is a size outlier. If it doesn't work in Carolina, it's because he was just too small. Everything else, though, I think, if he were 6'2", 210, man, he'd be an easy number 1 overall pick.
Bryce Young, the first player off the board. During our draft coverage, we are live on our Chat Sports main channel. That's the sublink below, youtube.com/chatsportstv. We're live rounds 1 through 7, every single pick. So when ESPN's in commercial break, showing Taco Bell or whatever in the later rounds.
Interviewing coaches about their first-round pick. They don't care about it anymore.
Exactly. We're going to be live here breaking down every single pick. Best coverage here on YouTube and really just in general, Tom. So be sure to subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/chatsportstv. That sublink in the comments and the description of today's video. Tom, looking ahead here for Carolina, what do you think some of their bigger needs are, and what do they need to address here this weekend?
Yeah, obviously taking care of quarterback now, so that's checked off here. In general, I like it when teams go we took a quarterback early, let's get him help. That could, if a running back falls, that could be in play, even with the Miles Sanders contract. I think long-term receiver is still an area of concern for this organization. I know you sign Adam Thielen, DJ Chark. You're still looking for a number 1. There's probably not one in this class. You're down a first-round pick next year because of this trade. You can always go offense line. I think they're in pretty decent shape on the O-line. Their next pick is going to be pick number 39, barring any trades up in round 2. So should be some fun options for Carolina. It's all about making Bryce Young as successful as possible. These smart NFL teams always do that. They give their quarterbacks as many weapons as possible. And now we wait and see what Carolina does later on in this year's draft.
Who do you want the Panthers to draft next? Chime in down in the comments. They have Bryce Young. They got their franchise quarterback. Who should they take next in the 2023 NFL Draft?